Hi! Today I'm here with Rosianna.
Hello.
And I thought of a fun little challenge / game we could play. Because on Goodreads, when people befriend you, you can put in a little verification question just to make sure they're not like robots. And I decided to make it a fun one, and I think it is, which fantasy or like fictional world would you like to live in?
Such a great question.
So basically I always have like an inbox filled with people's answers to that, and I wanted to do something with it. So today we are playing a game called Would You Like to Live There?
Yay!
I might come up with a catchier title and put that as the title. The idea is...
Sorry, I just got really into it.
The idea is we're going to go through this list and chat about whether we would like to live in these fictional or like book-based locations.
Lovely.
I wonder if we'll have the same answers. Do you want to guess what the most popular one is?
Hogwarts?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to live at Hogwarts?
I would love to live at Hogwarts. I mean, it definitely depends what era you're in. Because
Yes.
you do have like a target on your back if you're there during like the Carrows and Severus Snape and so on. But I feel like it's such a labyrinthine place, and I like the idea of the castle as its own entity that like has its own mind in a lot of ways.
It's crazy thinking about 11-year-olds going there.
Yeah.
Is there enough supervision at Hogwarts? Doesn't feel like it.
But you kind of don't want there to be supervision because they're making spells and they're figuring out magic and they're exercising their control. It's like a very big safe space.
Meeting three-headed dogs, I mean...
Oh, like sometimes in life.
I mean, the next one is a pretty easy one, and that is London.
I'd live there. Would you live there?
I would live there.
Is that fictional? Or book-based, I guess?
Book-based,
Book-based.
yeah. Ooh! So someone said the house that inspired Jane Eyre.
Oh.
So let's imagine a, like, north of England, on the heath, on the moors, whatever. Would you live in, like, an old, dark
No.
mansion? No?
I have no interest in being that isolated unless I literally am at wizard school.
Yes.
No, yeah, that's a recipe to be murdered. I'd read way too much Agatha Christie for that.
It is really scary, isn't it? I feel like people used to do a lot more just like, oh, we just live here and it's fine. And now you're like, but my Wi-Fi and my security.
The idea that it would take even like a doctor multiple hours, maybe even days to get to you, I hate that idea. That's horrible.
True.
I'm a Londoner. Gosh darn it.
I'd like to do that for the weekend.
For the weekend.
I think maybe I said like favorite fictional location. So someone said the Oxford Botanical Garden as featured in His Dark Materials.
Oh, my heart. That's so sad. Oh, have you not read them?
No.
It's part of a very sad moment.
Oh.
But it's also beautiful. I love that world. I would live there or in that world. But there is actually one world in that series that I would love to live in, which is this world with like these kind of elephant creatures called the Mulefa, and they move on these little pods, and it's just this very loving, generous community. However, there are these awful giant sort of giant swan vulture creatures.
I hate swans.
They would be quite scary in that world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trade-off is like good enough to live. Yeah, okay. Winterfell. We've been watching Game of Thrones. Like, no thank you. Especially not with what's to come.
Way too cold as well.
Yeah, it's very cold.
Even when winter has not come.
They've got those glamorous, like really warm dresses.
I do like the dresses.
Yeah.
I like Sansa's dresses this season, especially with
a lot of Narnia is what people usually say. Would you live in Narnia? I mean, again, depends on which era.
Yeah. No. I'm not a winter person, really.
True.
What about you? Would you live in Narnia?
No, it's never had a huge appeal for me, I'd say.
Yeah.
It does have, like, the medieval appeal going for it, which I like, but then...
The things I like about Narnia are the idea of, like, going into a world through the back of a wardrobe, and I really like that thing with, like, the lamppost as well.
Yeah.
I like the magic of, like, finding this secret world. The actual world itself...
Would you live in the wardrobe?
I live in the wardrobe behind the coats.
Oh, this is interesting. Someone said Key West, and they want to take a tour around Ernest Hemingway's home and see all the cats. Have you been to Key West?
I haven't, but I have. There's actually an episode of The West Wing where they go and see Ernest Hemingway's.
Really? See, I've been to Key West.
You have?
Like Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went there on a road trip with my dad. Didn't have key lime pie. Didn't realise that was a thing. I'm really sad still. So we drove around and we went on one of those like boats with the giant propellers behind it and like saw alligators, held a little alligator. But mostly just drove around and walked around, and it was so humid.
Yeah.
The moment I would put makeup on my face, it would just like slide off. And also wearing glasses there is really difficult because like the glasses fog up all the time. Great for a trip. I could not live there climate wise.
Yeah, I think all of Florida, because there's too many mosquitoes. There's actually quite a big, well, I guess what we would call now YA community there. There's
Really?
Judy Bloom lives there.
Oh wow.
And Meg Cabot. At least used to live there. I don't know if she still does.
Yeah. I am made for climates like London. I could probably also live in Scotland. Like, I don't mind if it's raining. I don't mind if it's a bit colder. I like autumn. I like my turtlenecks.
I like hot, but as long as it's not humid, I can't deal with humidity.
No.
It's just, I just can't deal with it.
Someone said Gilead.
No.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No,
Pass.
thanks.
Strong pass.
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Teach us something, please.
The ball at the Capulet house. The Capulet household?
No.
No.
It's
No.
a too high risk of murder. You know?
Oh, I like this one. Wonderland from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Yeah, I could live in Wonderland. What about you?
Stay far away from the Queen. But...
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think it'd be too chaotic for me.
It's true. It actually would be quite stressful now that I'm thinking about it. Nothing would make sense, and I don't know that I
You don't like that? Not for that. Another person saying Bronte Country in Yorkshire. I loved visiting there.
Yeah.
It was so nice. And there's lovely, like, I think we said no to the Jane Eyre mansion, but I think I could live, like, up north.
Yeah.
As long as I'm close enough to like a big city or like somewhere where I can get all the stuff I need.
I feel like you could live in like a cottage in the village.
I could.
You could live in like the old post office or something.
See, what I kind of miss here is that I'd love to just walk out of my flat and have like a cheese shop and a bakery and like a vegetable market. Because I grew up in a smaller town, and so I'm like, oh, I have to go all the way to the big Tesco's to get everything. Like, I like having those, and there's places like that in London where you can live, but that appeals to me.
You're such a country girl.
The Great Gatsby.
Yes, actually, I would quite like to.
I think
live
you would.
on West
I think
Egg.
you would thrive there.
You do?
I think it would be yours. Yeah, not for me.
No, you wouldn't want loud parties.
No, thank you. But I think you do pretty well.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
Mr. Darcy's estate. Yes, thank you.
Wouldn't mind. Yeah, that's an estate I'd live in if I had the company of Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, and a carriage to take me around to places. Although it would be so uncomfortable.
Oh, Cassandra's Castle from I Captured the Castle.
Oh, I
by
haven't
Jodie
read that.
Oh yeah, it's such a great book. It's one of my favourites. It's these two sisters who live in a castle with their father, who's like a writer who's struggling from writer's block, but bought the castle when he was really successful, and his new wife Topaz.
Yeah.
And in order to buy like essentials, they have to sell off the furniture of this castle, which is slowly getting more and more ruined. It's just great.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
so you would live there?
Yeah, it'd be cold, but like it would be cool.
And it'd be a good place to write.
Yes.
Moomin Valley. The last one that someone has said is Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh yes. For sure.
Yes, would you?
Yes, I would live in Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, I don't know. It really freaked me out when I watched the film.
Oh, I love that book.
You live there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd live there for sure.
Those were some fictional locations. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Whenever I have to think of things like this, I'm like, I need to go look at my shelves.
Yes.
Have a look through my shelves.
I'd like to live on Mars, like the Marsh.
Just by yourself.
Just by myself.
With some potatoes.
Sometimes I get very tired of other people.
See, I love the Sabriel, like Garth Nix world, but it's too scary.
Well,
like, I wouldn't actually want to live there.
The one that I was actually thinking of was from Jorge Luis Borges' stories, The Library, The Infinite Library of Babel. And that reminds me of
the Library of the Claire.
Is it L'Oreal? Yeah, they have the library there.
But it's scary.
It's scary.
I feel like most fantasy, like if you go into fantasy worlds, then they're also gonna have terrible monsters hiding somewhere.
But I mean, that like real life?
I was gonna say, oh, sad.
Gotta take the good with the bad.
And on that note, let us know which fictional location you would most like to visit or live. Thanks so much to Rosanna for being on my channel. Go check out the videos we made on her channel. Dewey!